Imagine if you could significantly step up your fitness level by introducing a few minor tweaks into the simple act of walking. Now, depending on your current fitness level, you may have opted to join our 30-day walking challenge to start getting more active and into some better shape again. So you can come join us on the trail this summer. Walking is such a great way to do exactly that. And if you need some help getting started, I recommend checking out our 3-part series on getting healthy and active. And you can check that out in the link above or in the playlist section of our channel. Whether you've already completed that challenge or you're a fairly active person already, this video series will provide you with some great ways to step up your efforts and improve your fitness even more. And I also have a very important subject that we really need to talk about at the end of this video, one that's very significant to our future adventures. So please hang around till the end while I discuss that with you. These concepts are great for everyone, regardless of what your fitness or outdoor sports goals are. These are some very simple and low impact ways that you can make a big difference in not only how you feel, but also what you'll be able to accomplish physically. While these are all relatively simple concepts, the way in which you apply these and the effort that you're willing to put in will provide you with a wide range of options to challenge yourself while also reaping the benefits of stepping up your efforts. Would you like to be able to do more outdoors? Maybe you have some bigger goals like longer hikes in the mountains or completing a more challenging backpacking trip. I use these same methods myself each year to prepare myself and to kind of get in some better hiking shape. This series of videos will offer a great variety of some options to consider when getting into better shape for your future outdoor adventures. The best part is that these things will benefit you and can contribute to helping you reach your larger fitness goals. You can also mix and match these various methods to suit your ability level and your goals. There's no denying that more activity and movement are important contributing factors to achieving a higher level of health and wellness in your life. By also including some healthier choices when it comes to your diet and spending more time out in nature, being active, these things will play a significant role in helping you do and be more. There are several different things that you can do to gradually increase the benefits you'll receive from walking. I'm going to present these in a logical order so that you can follow these and gradually step up your efforts. Feel free to try these in the order presented, or you can mix and match in a way that makes more sense for you personally. The first thing I'd like to speak with you about today is speed. If you're already walking daily, one of the easiest things that you can do is to just pick up your pace. Not only will you be able to get more steps in, but you'll be elevating your heart rate just slightly more without incurring any additional impact on your body. Now, I've mentioned the low impact nature of walking previously, but I'd just like to reiterate the great benefits of this particular exercise. Some other exercises like running will burn more calories, but it's also much harder on your body and your joints, especially if you're carrying any extra weight. And it's not that running is bad. In fact, it's a good thing to incorporate some of it into your routine if your body responds well to it and you're able to. It's just that walking is so much easier on your body. As we age, the lower impact benefits of walking can be very appealing for many people. None of us want to experience joint or back pain. And when you perform exercises that are harder on your body and your joints, it will definitely let you know. It's just something important to keep in mind and adjust accordingly. And it's also one of the reasons that I sing such praises to the simple act of walking alone. Walking is one of the simplest exercises that you can do that is quite easy on your body while still being effective. And this is especially true when you add in some of these variations that we'll be talking about today, as well as the other videos in this series where we'll discuss a couple of other variations as well. If you can get out and pick up the pace on your walk, it can definitely increase the benefits. By stepping up your pace, you can move into a more moderate aerobic activity, and this can help to increase your endurance while burning more calories. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, this is good for your heart and your cardiovascular health. By picking up the pace, it's an easy way to amplify the benefits you'll be getting, and it will go a long way toward getting you healthier, especially when done, more consistently. So now that you've picked up the pace a bit, let's explore another simple way that you can increase the benefits from walking. Increasing the time spent walking can be another great way to get just a little bit more out of your efforts. Maybe you can start by simply adding on another 5 to 10 minutes at a time. If you've already significantly picked up your pace, try adding another 5 to 10 minutes at this increased pace to push yourself just a little more and see some of the additional benefits from it. Ideally, your heart rate has increased a bit more with this faster pace that you're walking, and by adding just this little more time onto this pace will help you increase your ability to go further faster. The best part is that you can easily stop or adjust this pace as needed, It's a really simple way to step up your efforts and enjoy some of the additional fitness benefits from your time spent outdoors. The next thing I'd like to mention is similar, but a little different based on how you're training or spending your time, and this is distance. Now, some people like to do distance-based training, such as like 2 miles or 3 miles at a time. And if you like to go out for a certain distance rather than a certain amount of time, then this could be relevant to you. I kind of go back and forth on this myself personally, depending on the situation. Excuse me. For instance, if I'm going out for my daily walk over lunch, this is something more time-based due to my limitations there. However, if I'm going out on a hike on the weekend, I might pick a specific distance that I want to cover, since time isn't as big of a factor on that day. Distance also happens to be a great way to progressively train for longer hikes or backpacking trips, and to gauge your progress as you go. In the spring, when I'm first getting out onto the trail or into the mountains, I like to start with like 3 to 5 miles and get a couple of hikes in at this distance and just see how that's feeling for me. And in these cases, I'm also much less concerned with time, and I'm just trying to get the miles in and gradually work my way up to something a little bit longer and a little more challenging. This is a really helpful way to slowly build up your strength and your stamina for some longer hikes. And I recommend trying this method, especially early in the season. It just helps to stretch and strengthen your legs and your feet, and it also allows your cardio fitness levels to adjust to some progressively more vigorous activity over time. It also helps you to prevent injuries by slowly strengthening all the different muscles that you're required when you find yourself on more of kind of varied or challenging terrain. Now, let's suppose that you're doing all of this, but you still want to step things up even further, because I know that you're dying to make it even more challenging, right? Well, I have just the thing for you. Let's try introducing some incline into the mix now. And this is something you definitely want to do at some point. Your calves might be sore at first, for the first couple times, but stick with it because you'll want to get past that so that you aren't feeling that quite as much out on the trail later. Introducing some incline is such a great way to improve your strength and your stamina. And depending on the incline you introduce, this can be very simple or very challenging. And just a great side note on this point, if you happen to have a treadmill that has an adjustable incline on it, you can use that year-round indoors when the weather just isn't very friendly or cooperative. Of course, I recommend you get outside whenever you can, but a treadmill is a great option to keep in mind on those days when that just isn't very practical. Otherwise, get outside and find a nice incline to include in your walk, and hopefully you have this available to you wherever you are. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Just a decent sized hill will do, and it'll just introduce a little bit of a challenge into your routine. I'd like to encourage you to get out on the weekends more often as well and go challenge yourself with something a little taller, a little longer, and a little steeper. Changing things up a bit can be fun, and it'll be something different that you can do to challenge yourself. And just note what has changed for you. You might feel quite a bit stronger, and you might notice that. Hopefully there's something within a reasonable distance of you, that you can actually get to and try this. Now, the four main variations of speed, time, distance, and incline, which we've went over so far, are all great ways that you can gradually introduce some additional challenge into your walking routine. They're all very user-friendly ways to do that, and they also remain highly adjustable, kind of to suit to different activity levels and fitness levels. I encourage you to try each of them and just play with them to find your sweet spot for building your own strength and endurance up in a way that feels appropriate for you. Now, there's one additional topic that I'd like to cover today, one that will likely require a bit more safety and care than the others. I also just want to say that I'm by no means an expert or an authority on this subject, and as such, I'm going to be referencing an article from somebody who is. I'll link to that article below, and if you have any questions about this particular subject, I just recommend that you take the time to read more on this subject and be sure that you understand some of the things to watch out for, because it's really important. The subject I'm referring to is elevation. And I debated bringing this up in this particular video, but after kind of thinking about that, I believe it's really a good time to mention it. Why? Because here at Outdoor Informed, my goal is to get you out in the mountains, ultimately where you can enjoy some new adventures, to learn some new skills, and to make some new connections with yourself and others. But in the mountains, elevation changes are just part of that experience. And this doesn't mean that you should be intimidated by that. Actually, on the contrary, you should instead seek to become more kind of knowledgeable about it, so that you can be safer and wiser when you're visiting the mountains. And since this is our goal, it makes good sense that you would need to tackle the subject of elevation, especially if you're coming from somewhere that's much lower and you haven't spent much time here. You can absolutely deal with elevation wherever you're from. You just need to be better informed and understand how to approach it a little more safely. Now I'm just going to be highlighting some of the key points here today, and I encourage you to read the post I have linked to below for more details, and there's some links in that article as well that might be helpful. It's a short read, but an immensely valuable one to anyone spending time at elevation, myself included. The article is by Brian Strickland, and he's an emergency physician specializing in high altitude illnesses here in Colorado. He's quick to point out that the high altitude tourism kind of fad is growing quickly, and the more travelers know, the better that they can prepare for their journey. He states that altitude sickness is rare in locations lower than 8,200 feet, but becomes very common when ascending above that elevation, and it affects about 25% of visitors to the mountains of Colorado. I live at just below 7,000 feet and frequently find myself up above 9,000 feet, even here where I live. And I'm fortunate that I have never experienced issues with altitude sickness personally, but just because you grew up here doesn't exempt you from it, and I think that's a very noteworthy point to mention. Above 9,800 feet, Brian states that up to 75% of travelers can have symptoms which include headache, dizziness, nausea, fatigue, and insomnia. Those often resolve in a day or two as long as travelers stop their ascent and turn back once they notice those symptoms. It's really important that you acclimatize yourself to higher elevations by staying overnight at a moderate elevation before you go out and try to ascend to those higher elevations in the mountains. That can significantly reduce your chances of developing symptoms, and it'll prevent much more serious conditions which can follow. This article also recommends to ascend slowly, doing only 1,500 foot a day after you cross the 8,200 foot mark of elevation. It's also very important to stay well hydrated because your body will lose fluids much quicker at elevation due to the increased exertion and also some other factors as well. I bring all of this up so that you can be aware of one of the potential dangers that is ever present in the high mountains. This is not anything to be afraid of. It is something simply to be respected, understood, and mitigated, as are many of the potential hazards in life. The mountains are unique in many ways. They are so beautiful, but make no mistake, they can be very dangerous. And it is for this reason that safety should always be your top priority. Training at elevation can provide many benefits that you will readily notice. It becomes more challenging to breathe at higher elevations, and this can help you to increase your lung capacity and add in some weight from your backpack and some steeper inclines, and you will definitely be making yourself stronger over time. And all that walking you've been doing is going to really start to pay off for you here. Taking things from the river walk into the mountains is truly taking it to the next level. And everything that I've shared with you so far is going to help you to prepare for that, so that you can be absolutely ready. I know I've been a bit blunt here on the subject of mountains and elevation, but it would not be ethical to really sugarcoat things for you. I want you to have a very realistic picture in your mind of everything that has the potential to be dangerous or to cause you problems out in the mountains. We're going to learn some amazing skills that will serve you very well, but being safe, knowledgeable, and smart are the things that will be the most valuable in all of these situations. In my next video, I'm going to offer up some additional activities, ones that you should include to prepare yourself physically for the demands of the mountains and outdoor sports in general, so check that out as well. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you found this valuable. I look forward to seeing you in the next video in this very practical series, which aims to help you step up your efforts on the path toward doing and being more, while enjoying all the amazing things that nature and the mountains have to offer.